Hello and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel, How We Move the Decimal. In this video, I am listing slides that I previously photographed, and this listing in particular is a bunch of souvenir slides. Now, you've noticed that they have changed color. They have discolored, they've turned red. This is extremely common in souvenir slides. I still sell them, I still list them. Do they get top dollar? No, but I make sure to put in the description and in the description of condition of the item that they have turned red. Some turn red, some fade, some yellow. These have turned red. So I'm very particular when I'm listing these. It lists, most have turned red, some have turned red. I also photograph all the slides. Granted, they're small pictures here, but you can see almost all of them have turned red in just this screen. I lot them in a lot of 200. I put them for like around 20 bucks, which is pretty reasonable. Some people like them and still buy them, so I don't throw them away and I just lot them that way. That being said, if I have these up for a while and they don't sell and I have other lots of souvenir slides, then I will lot them all together and do like a 400 or 600 or whatever I have with that. But as you can see here in the description, I put there are some discolorations. Please see pictures. $20. Unfortunately, because it's 200, it is over a pound, so it is more to ship and you are paying more. I have more souvenir slides here. Not all of them have discolored. I tried to put like all the discolored ones in one lot and all of the non-discolored ones in another, just so I didn't have like one or two contaminating a lot. These have discolored. This is a smaller lot also. This is a lot of 100 souvenir slides. I do pull them out of my normal side lots because they do have the chance to discolor, which is unfortunate, but they aren't made out of the best material. Sometimes though, it's kind of weird because so I've had some souvenir slides that are not fit for consumption. Either they have images on them that you're like, whoa, we can't sell those images. There was some very risque souvenir slides from Hawaii and some very risky ones from Las Vegas that I could not sell because it would just be all types of problems. Or there's ones that show scenes that, maybe was okay in the 1960s is definitely not okay in 2023. That I pull out and throw away as like, oh no, we can't sell that. That's not great. But that's another reason why I like to go through and look at all of them just in case. I've, learned my lesson on the couple times I've caught slides and been like, oh, whoops, we can't sell that slide. So be aware of that when you're looking at that. I'm in a Facebook group and somebody actually posted a bunch of pictures of slide carousels and they're like, can I sell these slides that are in this carousel? And I think within the first half an hour, several people had commented. I hadn't seen it till it had been already up for about half an hour. And people were like, yeah, slides sell, just look at the comps on eBay. But it's very difficult. Some slides sell for me very quickly. Some slides take longer times to sell. So it's not like, oh my gosh, you have gold in this box. But this person had also never sold slides before, and I told them that they need to really look for mold, for mildew, make sure they don't smell, make sure there's no discoloration, and make sure everything is appropriate on the slides. And I think a lot of people don't think about the mold and mildew, especially where, a lot of times these are not stored great. My very first large lot of slides I bought to sell was stored in a crawl space. So it had a lot of mold, and I maybe had a third of it I could not list because it had actual mold on the slides. And we should have known something was up because it triggered my husband to have an asthma attack when we were getting them. So we should have known that there would be mold and mildew on that. And even I've had some people, when they bought the slides from me, ask, does it have mold or mildew? And I can't guarantee it doesn't. I say I looked through all of them. I pulled out the ones I could tell. But even just being storage with me, if there was a tiny little speck of mold or mildew on there, it could have gotten larger just while I've had it in my possession. Now, I do store these properly like you would store any negatives or pictures or anything. This is in a dry, climate-controlled environment. A dehumidifier is ran. It is not, they're not exposed to the humidity that they used to, they would be in other people's storing them. And a lot of times if these are ending up, in the garbage or in estate sale auctions for very low prices, they probably aren't being taken care of very well. So you have to really, really take that into consideration. And how are you going to store them properly? I will say I have several very large lots, and it does take up space to store them properly. I cannot store them in my garage with other eBay stuff because my garage is not climate controlled. And I live next to a lake. So there is water in the air. And you need to really consider that. Do I have the room to store these properly? Do I have the ability to store these properly? A lot of the stuff we were doing anyway just to keep our house dry and with no moisture. But if someone didn't have that, or if they lived in a small space, or they only had their garage for storage, or if they only had a storage unit that's not climate controlled, a lot of eBayers put stuff in storage units and then work out of their storage units. This would not work for slides unless it was indoor and climate controlled. And even then you have the ability, like the possibility of too much humidity in the air, especially if it's indoor but open ceiling, which the only indoor climate controlled storage facility in my area is open ceiling. So it actually took over an old department store. So they took over the old department store and made essentially cubbies, and the walls are 8 feet tall. But if you got on a ladder, you could see over them, and you can see like the entire building like that. So yes, it's heating and air conditioned, but there's going to be moisture in the air, and I can't control moisture in like 1,000 square foot warehouse. So yes, they're not high dollar sales either. So you have to think, for something you're selling for $15, $20, $30, do you have the room to store it? Do you have a place to put it in that's, climate controlled, that's the humidity is also controlled? All of that needs to be considered when working with the slides and when selling them, because storage is part of it. I recently had a comment on a pair of pants I sold that the laundry detergent was too strong, but I use scent-free, I use the hypoallergenic laundry detergent, and I was like, okay, that's fine. Ironically, it was also when I was recovering from COVID, so I couldn't smell anything for an entire month anyway. So I'm like, okay, maybe it smelled too perfumey. Sorry. So you don't know what people may complain about or what you might miss. So I was talking about the laundry detergent thing. Yes, it was kind of special case scenario that I had no sense of smell for over a month. And even now, my sense of smell is back, but it's very dampened. It's not like, if it's a minor or mild smell, I'm not smelling it very much. Also, if it's like a floral smell, it smells very bad to me. So I may think it smells bad when someone else thinks it smells good. So like, sense of smell is so personalized that so like, well, I wash all my stuff. I wash it with scent-free, sensitive detergent to not overwhelm people, but it can. I mean, and maybe it was overwhelming to that person. I wasn't like, what do you mean? At least it was clean. I didn't come back at them. I'm like, I'm sorry, it smelled too much for you, but it's clean. I will say we used to have a male person that smoked. and all of our mail smelled like smoke because it drove around in the, like, we don't have normal sized vehicles for our mail. Our mail goes around in those like little golf car-ish vehicles. And so because our mail was traveling in that golf car-ish vehicle with our mail person that smoked like a chimney, super nice lady, smoked like a chimney. Everything smelled like smoke. Any Amazon orders I would get through the USPS smelled like smoke. My bills smelled like, everything smelled like smoke. So your mail person could affect, I didn't get on and give eBayers bad reviews because my items smelled like smoke because I knew it was my mail lady. We have a different mail person now that doesn't smoke. But that having that personal experience from myself, I kind of give more leeway, like, okay, maybe they don't realize it smells, maybe they don't, maybe the mail person was smoking. But relating this back to slides, some slides smell and like formaldehyde, and that's not great. That usually means that there's some mold on there, that they've been overheated and essentially are cooking where they were stored. I won't sell any slides that smell like formaldehyde. And it's very distinctive. Like if you're in the US, if you ever if you're my generation or older, if you ever dissected a frog in biology, it's an extremely strong smell, and I won't sell slides that smell like that. But when I had COVID, I had to have other people smell the slides for me because I couldn't tell, which made me very anxious too when I was selling the slides. Like, oh my gosh, did I miss something? What's going on? Thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe, and please watch my other videos.